Ringers off.
Welcome to Warrior Class,
where the teachers whip ass.
And you will too if you pass.
All right, now this is the zombie apocalypse episode. Really, what gave me the idea for this episode was all the stuff that's going on with WotC. You know, we Wizard of the Coast. We spoke on it briefly. And just there's so many posts. If you look up, right, like OGL 1.1, don't do it now because you're watching our show, but if you would have looked that up and put that on YouTube, there would be literally hundreds of, there's this one podcast they started, I think they had like 100 members when the thing started. Now they got like 10,000 members or something.
Wow.
That's how, so, you know, when people say overnight success, there's no such thing as overnight success. Is events happen that push these things to the forefront. And when you talk about with these different algorithms and stuff, they come to the forefront. So people now who didn't give a shit about like these different podcasters and stuff like that, now they're just there. And I even find myself looking up my wife, what are you watching? She really watching? You watching another one of them damn OGL things, right? Because I'm studying the way the market's moving. I mean, I make games, but also it's newsworthy. But I was, you know, just thinking like, damn, they got us moving like.
What OGL stand for again, Baba?
The Open Game License.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So you got the Open Game License 1.0, then they revised that to the Open Game License 1.08, which Wizard of the Coast is trying to get who owns Dungeons and Dragons. They're trying to get rid of that. They were going to make OGL 2.0, but somebody in the company is leaking stuff to people, which was gonna, I mean, it was like draconian. When you post, if you bring out a game, we own, you know, we can use all your game without your permission and all that. So they could use with it. So they could turn, if I had Ice Cold Carter on that, right? They could take Ice Cold Carter and make a movie out of it without saying anything to me.
What?
Yeah, it's draconian. Well, people leaked it. People started attacking it, so they got rid of it.
Draconian.
Yeah, draconian is.
I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always draconian shit going on out here, but this one the biggest. So now these groups have gotten together. So the one thing is also, okay, well, they got us watching the job like zombies, but the zombies got together like they do in movies and tear shit up. One zombie ain't scary. Even if you talking about the slow zombies, you know. I mean, the fast zombies. One zombie, you say shit, he running fast. You just pop his ass out of here. But you have, even with the slow zombies, 1,000 of them moving, a herd of them moving towards you. That's scary.
Yeah.
Like
even
people say, well, you just walk away from the zombies. Well, you know, they say that about Michael Myers. You walk away from Michael. It's been tested that you have a guy walking at you, and let's see if you can get from your car into your house.
Oh yeah, we posted that before.
Right, and everybody gets caught because now you're adding in the nervousness, even though you know that's not really Michael Myers. So imagine if it was real zombie. So that's a big concern for a lot of people. You know, a lot of governments, the CDC. So you know, many people know the CDC put out their zombie thing, which we're going to talk about. Their zombie.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Thing. But also the military, the Department of Defense has put out theirs. Well, who are the zombies? So we'll get into that. Greetings, everybody out there in Warrior Class. James, 40J Blaze, Sounds of St. Elsewhere, I Manifesto. James said, are zombies strong? They can be, yeah. Now you say, okay, Well, they're dead. Well, I mean, we're dealing with fantasy, really. If they were dead, they wouldn't be able to see either because their eyes would be dead. Their organs, nothing's broken. But if they're moved, and that's how we know zombie is cold or something.
And if you check out some of the shows and movies, zombies aren't dead. They started like that, the living dead, but then they started turning to the effects of a disease, of a virus.
Well, they all affects the disease, but now these ones are alive. They just affected like with rage,
right? Basically, like rabies or their rabbit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Even the ones on The Walking Dead, by the end of the show, they were starting to think and reason.
And climb,
use objects. So it was getting tricky.
Well, that's because the original zombies, which we're gonna get into, is zombies.
Zombies
from Haiti.
Right.
So,
right, exactly.
So and those we're gonna get into what those are, and those are real. But we're gonna get into what they are. You said, "What is real zombies?" Oh yeah. But we're gonna get into how they exist. So let's deal with the news first, and then we'll get into it.
Yes, I want to. Before we get into the news, I want to ask everybody to please like, share, and subscribe. That's what when my head be down like this, I'm posting and sharing it in all the little chats. People be messaging me, and I be messaging them back. We live. Check us out. But so anyway,
hold on real quick. James said, "I'm just asking, what is their strength or roles in these flicks? What do they represent?" We're gonna get into that.
Yeah, that's what we here for. We can't just give it right to you, then you're gonna check out. We tell you right now, you're gonna leave, James. You know what we gotta do? We gotta make this thing work. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about first is the Hank Willis Thomas new monument of Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King. Has anyone seen this?
I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it.
If I could put it in the chat. Oh, I meant to, you know what? Let me drop the link to the producers that we have on standby. We're gonna get us some producers, y'all. We got a few we're looking at, and I'm sending one chat right now so you can see what we got going on. But man, this is, when I say ridiculous, it looks like, I don't want to say what it looked like. How much time has we went on so far? It's okay. So first of all, it's like abstract. I don't know who this guy is, but it basically looked like, I don't want to say.
Go ahead, because we can't see it. So,
oh my God, it looked like. Only way I can say it is, it looks like it's got like the top of a man's head with like a leg around his face or something. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna say,
that's so goddamn disrespectful.
Listen,
and this supposed to be Martin Luther King and Coretta.
Listen.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you. I mean, I want to say it the regular way. It looked like a man eating booty.
Right. Gotcha.
That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like, y'all. I can't sugarcoat it. That ain't in my DNA. That's what it looked like, y'all. I ain't
booty or the good thing.
Well, yeah, that's,
you said booty.
No. I'm sorry. I'm
you
older.
Can't say that nowadays.
No, I'm older. When I say booty, I'm not talking about booty. I'm older. I'm talking about, yes, the sexual organ of the female. When I say booty. Because we got booty bandits out here, and I don't know what they talking about. That's a whole nother story. We ain't gonna get on that.
Right.
But anyway, this is the most disrespectful. I just don't listen. I don't know how this got sanctioned. I just don't know how this got sanctioned. It just looked crazy. Please take a look at it for a second. So that's the first thing. We got to find out who Hank Willis Thomas is.
Right.
Hank Willis I don't know. We in the country, so it's some black Hank Willises around here. I know it is. But I just got a feeling that Hank Willis ain't. But anyway, the next thing, man, again, is, I don't try to look for stories about police doing this dirty. It's in the New York Times and stuff like that. That's not me. I just stroll and I see the story about Victor White. how old was this young man? This handcuffed black youth shot himself to death, says coroner.
Yeah.
Coroner says Victor White III was shot in the chest while his hands were cuffed behind his back, but still caused the death of suicide. We've seen this before, right?
Right.
I think
Many times.
Yeah, we've seen this before. So you know, I don't even like to read too much in stories like this because it's all a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my language, but it's just another example of we really got to do our due diligence, man, and stay away from from police, from the courtrooms. Just stay away. I don't want to give too much. I don't want to say too much about that. Everybody have their own way of resisting. But what I will tell people is resist responsibly, to the best of your ability, or comply, one or the other. But man, it's not going to get any better, you know. So that's just one of the things. That's just one of the stories. I thought it was interesting too, and this is the last little story I saw, that they used in World War II. They used inflatable tanks and military vehicles and all types of stuff in World War II, and I never heard of that before. And I actually saw the inflatable thing, and they look so real. It's amazing.
Well, you know, what do you mean by inflatable tanks?
So they showed people they just like floats. You could just pick them up one hand, turn them over. They got trucks, tanks, rocket. I don't know the real names for them, but they would be shooting shells. So like not rocket launchers. I guess they would be like 50 caliber gun post or whatever. And they all I put it in the Warrior Class Instagram. I put it on there.
They have in the 1400s, I believe, or 1500s. They have diagrams for tanks. Tanks that were actually, you know, at some points used. So they have long been geniuses when it comes to creating tools of death.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Instruments of war.
So they really, you know, even when you talk about ballistas, obelisks, those are ancient forms of artillery. Long range, you know, killing from a long range, we're hurling stones, we're shooting gigantic arrows. In the case of the obelisk, or, you know, you talk about the ballista, or some people call it the catapult. They're actually different, but similar, where they hurl stones. So long time, you know, it's been some what we would call advanced weaponry. Now they just use different materials. They use metal now instead of wood, and you know, things that
great at taking regular stuff and any invention and be like, now how can we use this to kill?
Yeah, exactly. Some of the stuff is like, okay, you know, when I learned in the military to use celery,
right,
for torture, who just sits and thinks about that? You know what? The celery, people use more energy to chew it than it gives them, so it will slowly kill them. They'll starve to death and not realize it. Yeah, we're gonna use this in the military. I mean, you know, it's wild, man. You can't fathom their depths.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Speaking of that, like one of the things I talked about on my page this week was how it was surprising to me how many people didn't know that the Army was doing chemical testing in the 50s. Like people still don't know that. How it's a number of neighborhoods, but the most famous one would be the St. Louis neighborhoods in the 50s. Well, a lot of people don't know, but that's what went on. They did a lot of chemical testing in those areas in St. Louis in the 50s, and starting to come out now.
I tell you this, in Chicago, there's a landfill. This is chemical testing too. How does it? Because they're toxins, and we dealt with toxins and poisons coming out of the landfill. So there's a landfill mountain, and I don't know if it still exists in Chicago. I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna drive by there and see if it's there, but I knew somebody who worked security there to keep people off, but at first they didn't keep people off of it. So children would be sliding down it. Like they're skiing.
Off what? Sliding on
a giant mountain of garbage.
Oh shit.
That's toxic as hell.
Yeah.
And it was there for years. And people in that area were catching cancer in high numbers.
That's what was happening.
So
St. Louis.
And the children are sliding down and on cardboard. I even seen a couple of people. I would stop, just driving by, like, get down off of there, man. That's poison. This ain't no poison. I saw a child with actual skis.
They probably found them in there.
Probably. Like, wait a minute, look. Probably placed there. And they on skis. They ain't had the ski pole. They had the skis, and they were skilled because they stand, with balance going down the thing. And I'm like, they just slide down the poison, toxin, just jumping off on them, man. So they decided, some folks, including me, were protesting it. So what they do is they put a fence around it and they hire security. Friend of mine is working security there. He quits. Just with children still there, and he's running people off, and he was giving the order, don't run them off. Just, inform the parents, and we had these meetings every month to tell them, like, what? He's, man, I'm gonna keep these people off. So he got fired. Well, his wife goes by there to make a protest or whatever, and the new security dude hems her up. Slams into the gate. So the brother calls me, and we go by there. And I think I've told y'all before, I can't say all that happened, but this dude tried to draw down on me.
Oh,
he lost. He lost. I'm still here. I guess he's still here. I guess he's still here. That's all I can say. I don't know. Maybe COVID took him. I don't know. Maybe something happened to him. I don't know, but
COVID.
Right. But
hey,
I'm like, and so when he called me, and this ain't a brother who's a punk, like I can't handle the dude. That's how he wanted to deal with the dude. He was so furious. He wanted, well, you'll deal with it more intelligently. Dude tried to handle me basically like he handled her, but just not him trying to hem me up. He knew not to just grab. So he literally slapped leather, like they say in the Western movies. He didn't know more than just him got leather. Just slap. And so, I'm like, dude, you're a security guard.
Stop.
That's all I'm saying.
Before we go into, I just want to shout out the name of Doris Spates, because she's the woman, the black woman that brought that story of St. Louis to the light back in the day. I'm not sure exactly when, but I remember her name.
I've seen that years ago about St. Louis.
Yeah, she was the one, because she had cervical cancer and all her siblings died. I think she had 4 siblings and they all died of cancer. She fought cervical cancer. Mom and dad did. So then she started learning about like she going through the history of her area, found out about the chemical testing. And then she tried to, I don't even think they ever got any compensation from the military, because you ain't gonna really get compensation from the military like that.
Peace, Dr. Ball.
So yeah, I just wanted to say her name because she's the one decades later that brought attention to the fact that they was doing. They had what they was doing was they had motorized blowers set on top of in the back of station wagons that was just sending out like haze. They put them on the top of project buildings, and then the back of station wagons covered a little machine to blow up and just have it blowing out chemicals that just nobody know what the chemicals is. Everybody just got cancer. So anyway, just another reason to never trust these folks.
Man, when I was a little boy, I'd gone to Yazoo, Mississippi to visit family, staying with my Aunt Jack, right? I think I told y'all before, the whole family got aliases, so her name wasn't Jack.
Right.
We call her Aunt Jack. So Aunt Jack, we were down there in Mississippi, you know, we go outside playing, and probably twice a week, airplane flies by, and we like, it's hot. And they being so nice, we thought they were sprinkling water down on us to cool us off. You know, little children, not the adults. I don't know what they thought. They really didn't talk about it with us. We was like, hey, so we're waving at the crop duster because it's come to cool us off with the water. It's no telling what the hell they were sprinkling on us, man.
Yeah, like the mosquito stuff they used to spray back in the day.
That's what I was gonna say. I was laughing because
but that has what's it called, DDT in it.
Right.
Yeah.
We used to be running behind that thing.
Right. Right. Oh man, yeah, we they've done a lot, man. If it wasn't, like I always tell people, if it wasn't for resilience, if they could count our resilience in any equation, we wouldn't be here. But you can't figure that out. If you could, boy, we'd be goners.
Right.
All right, so we ready to get into it?
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
Before we do, excuse me, one more time, but I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
In the chat, we're just gonna say it, we can't see you, but you know if you got it or not. Where your tools at?
Right.
Where your tools at? What you got? We ain't gotta pull ours out. You know what we about. But where yours at? If you got any questions about what you think you should get, you know, if you're watching the show, you probably know, but you should know by now. But maybe you just saw a couple episodes and you didn't hear what we said about knives or anything. Matter of fact, have we had a show?
We did a few episodes ago.
Knives, pocket sharks.
That's what's up. We getting up there now when I'm starting to forget what we done did.
I don't think you were here for that episode. It was just me and Baba. Yeah.
Which one?
But the one where we did our 5 favorite weapons, I think, or 5 most useful tools. Right.
Was I here? I left early.
Oh, you came. Right. You were out of town.
I think I left early.
Yeah.
But
actually, I just wanted to
with the folks that were coughing all over the house. He was with them.
Okay.
Right. I found my knife, my favorite knife that I was talking about in that episode. I found that. Well, I found it at the store. I had to buy it again, but only $20 at Walmart. So I can
tell you where your old one is at. You reveal how gangster your grandmother is. Whipping around the dog. That's what it's at.
If anyone ever comes into the house, I'll see it again. You're probably right. That's cool though. I'm glad.
Right.
Yeah. KY said the statue is not easy on the eyes. Not at all. It's ridiculous. That nervous thing is real. The nervous thing is real.
I thought it was a painting. So this is a statue.
This is a sculpture.
With King eating some.
That's not what it is. I'm saying it's like I don't know what it is, but it's his head. It's like a thigh or something, whatever it is wrapped around his face. It just
man.
It just gives me the instant, like, that's instantly what I thought of.
I gotta look at it because that may be just you thinking about that.
Hey, what do y'all think?
Everybody who doesn't think like you that's looking at it, it might be like
chat,
someone giving him a hug.
It might be King holding the Bible.
Please take a look at it in the chat. Tell me what y'all think. I ain't saying hey, it might just be me, but yes, the nervous thing, I manifesto, is a real thing. One of the things I used to do to try to simulate, because it's really hard to simulate your adrenaline pumping, being scared, being nervous. But when I wake up in the middle of my sleep, my arms are real weak. when I forced myself up. And so when I noticed that, I used to try to see if I could come straight out that sleep and grab my pistol and rack it. That was the hardest thing in the world right there. I don't know why it's so hard, but it's just trying to move as soon as you wake up. It's just that weak feeling. That's the only thing I can think of besides when I exercise and run till my arms feel like they about to fall off. But it's really hard there. That's why you just got to train, man. You just got to train.
Well, you can do, make sure the person with you knows what they're doing, but shoot at a target, have a person shoot near you. Right into your head.
That's a whole different
Let's
thing.
see if you can still hit those targets.
Yeah, if you with a team, you can really get it on. So sprinkle me, man.
Now, sprinkle me, man. You know, I was just singing that song, teaching my daughter about E40 yesterday.
Yo, E40 history. I do not like E40, but I love that song, Sprinkle Me. I like E40 as a person. But I don't want to hear the neurologist, psychologist, opologist. I don't want to hear all that.
So, but that's what's funny to me. He's like, he got like his tongue is stumbling.
Yeah, I love how he sound.
I look like right back with. I love this. I love it, man. I love it.
Wow.
His tongue, he always speaking sound like he's. I love it.
We gonna get to. I bought my friend, Ronald Zombie with me. Some people call him Rob. Yeah, he's I keep Rob, you know what I'm saying, to remind me, you know what I'm saying, of what it's like out there. It's hard out there. So
now,
you know,
Rob is a zombie.
Keep the enemies close.
But that's not Rob Zombie.
Keep the
so
friends
we don't
close.
Want you
keep the enemies
to
closer.
So, right, yeah. We do not.
Yeah. Right, so I tend to keep Rob close to me, man. So he's a good friend of the family. All right, here we go. I
realize that Rob is actually a real that's a real head that we won't talk about it.
Yeah, you know.
Rob reminds me of something else. 3 miserable days in the cold. But we don't talk about that.
On the set.
Yeah, fun times.
So now, worldwide, there's a fascination with zombies and an apocalypse brought on by zombies. But what exactly is a zombie? We're about to get into it. So
now, once did he ever try to promote this during this topic, but I'm going to say it right now.
Surviving the urban apocalypse.
This is This is the zombie apocalypse right here, y'all. You don't know. This is what it is right here.
You're not on that cover, Bile.
I know I don't usually promote books where I'm not on the cover. But this one, I will promote Surviving the Urban Apocalypse.
I don't know where Bile was.
He probably took the picture.
No. I wasn't there. I wasn't in town. I wanted to be there. I want to make every cover. My vanity, the way my vanity is set up, y'all.
I took the picture. No, I couldn't. I'm on the cover. Who took the picture?
Maybe Kunle.
Oh no, Kunle. It wasn't him. Kunle's shit would have been all artistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say
like Me might have did this.
Yeah. Boomy or somebody.
Maybe Koya.
Nah. Now, possibly Kunle. I think Kunle did. Wait a minute, no, because me and Bakim were taking the pictures, but it was a third person. I don't remember who. But it wasn't Kunle. You know, it's not artistic enough to be Kunle.
Y'all are the coolest apocalypse survivors I've ever seen. Just y'all stance is all nonchalant.
Well, that's to show people. That's how we were doing when COVID started. People panicking, and we were cool as hell because we were above the 8 ball, ahead of the 8 ball, right? So that I wanted that. I chose that because that's exactly how, if it's a zombie apocalypse, we're gonna be looking, unless a zombie is right there.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I don't know if I put this in the chat box. We can't do this show, but I want to put it out there. We should go over. We did this in USPI, y'all. Y'all don't know about this, but go over streets because that'd be kind of good to coincide with this. What do they mean? I don't know if y'all know. I didn't know till Baba taught a class about the difference between the avenues, the boulevards,
road, streets,
the place, all of that. Knowing that could be life or death if you running for your life, if you driving for your life, if you bicycling for your life, whatever you're doing, and you turn down this day, it's a cul-de-sac,
Right.
you know, or it's a dead end, or there's no way to get to the main road, or you know what I'm saying? You want to be able to know that as soon as you look at that sign. That's important for survival.
You know, we'll do that. We'll do that as I guess the next episode.
Good.
That's a whole episode in itself. You know,
it is.
All right, so the word zombie comes from Haitian zombie.
Zombie
are people who have been who have seemingly been brought back from the dead through voodoo by a bokor. So a bokor is in Ifa, we have, like myself, my wife, with owl, which is called Babalao for a man, or Iyanifa for a woman. You're a priest who deals with the traditions, right? Dealing with traditional herbology, the rituals and things of that nature, traditional psychology. Well, in Haiti, that person is a Ungan or Mambo. Ungan is the man, Mambo is the woman. Ungan, Houngan, Mambo, Mambo, Mambo. Some people say Mambo, or Mambo, Mambo. Okay, but the Bokor has spiritual power, and they do work for people, work against people, things of that nature. But they do not have to abide by the rules of good character. Character means nothing. So character I mean, some people just don't abide by it anyway. But in Ifa, we're supposed to have good character. Should be number one. Most Africans do not teach American owl people initiate to Ifa character. Because a lot of them don't have good character.
I want to shout you out, Baba, for always keeping character first and pushing character.
I should.
And helping me improve my character daily. Thank you.
Because we all have to. Your character is your politics, right? We all got politics, good or bad, but you should have good politics. So you should have good, balanced character. Okay. For us, you'll hear people say, you got to have gentle character. No, you have to have good character. You don't be gentle with everybody. But you have balanced character. So, and balanced character is good character. So it's balanced character. If I go across the street and just shoot the cat across the street in the chest just because, that's bad character.
Right.
But if that dude kicks in this door and I don't shoot him in the chest because I don't want to hurt nobody, that's also bad character.
Yeah.
So you have to have balanced character. Okay. Well, the Bokor, he don't worry about none of that. He don't worry about character. If I go to a Bokor and say so-and-so has offended me, they said my feet too big, I want him dead. I mean, I'm probably gone mentally, because why I want to kill somebody because they said my feet big. But the Bokor don't care.
I get tired of
you go to the Bokor and you pay him the money. All right, well, okay, well, I kill him.
Damn.
I kill him. That's the Bokor.
Thank you for explaining that. That's very bad. Peace, Kalanji.
Well, so they don't have a character thing, so you can't say they bad. They don't give a damn what you're talking about, character.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but you are a human being. Like, damn. I mean, I know you ain't got no standards, but shit, at some point you got to say, all right, man, come on, bro. Like, really?
Well, they have a place. So for me, if I can't reach out and touch a mug because they live in another state, but they have done something that they deserve to get got. And I just, don't have the wherewithal, the ability or whatever to drive to, they are in California. I go to a Bokor and I just wait, be patient, and it'll be taken care of.
I heard
Boko ain't flying. The Boko takes care of that job spiritually. So, and people say, man, I don't believe in that. You don't have to believe. You can be deaf and blind and don't believe a truck is coming to hit your ass. You stand in the middle of the street. It's still going to tear that ass up. So it doesn't require your belief.
No.
This stuff doesn't require your belief.
He does not require your belief.
So when we talk about atheism, and they know I've said atheist is a disgruntled, disbelieving Christian.
I love when Bob said
because their tradition is what you're dealing with the Judeo-Christian stuff, not ours.
Yeah, bro.
Atheist said to me, where does the and you know, if you're atheist, you're atheist. I know Dr. Ball's an atheist, and a lot of people here probably are. An atheist said to me one time, because I don't get antagonistic with an atheist. Why are you getting antagonistic with me? Because he's really angry with Christianity. So he says, when the rapist die, where does he go? I said, the same place the saint goes. The same place the innocent baby who died yesterday goes. The same place I'm gonna go. We all going to the same, that white man who oppressed people for hundreds of years, he's going to the same place as me.
Heaven? No, I'm
just to the heavens. To the heavens, not heaven.
Right, exactly.
Like that. But to the heavens, which means to the unseen realm, if you will, which is also part of this world. So this world has the seen and the unseen. You say, well, that's impossible. And I'm gonna get off of this because this ain't the show.
Yeah, don't get too deep to it. Don't get too deep.
Say that's impossible, but I deal with this because it's real simple.
Right.
When all of us who sitting on chairs or beds or tables, whatever the hell we sitting on, that thing we're sitting on, other than our ass, and even our ass, was a thought, somebody's thought first. So it's in the realm of the unseen. Then they used their hand and built that shit. So now it's in the realm of the seen. So it's unseen and here, now it's seen. Well, my wife is pregnant. The baby's unseen. We know she's there, but she's unseen. When she comes out into the world, she's now seen. But before she was even moving around the womb like that, she was a thought in me and my wife's head. That's how the African deals with reality. And also, we don't know how God came into, sure we do. Africans do, but other folks don't because they're dealing with spookism. The African deals with what they can see, what they can touch, what they know to be real. That's the first science. It's science. It ain't got nothing to do with spookism. Just so you know. So now, that's why this is key to hear. The zumbi is not dead, and then they rose them from the dead, but they use that. The Boko uses that to make people afraid. We rose them from the dead. That person, and the person believes they were risen from the dead. Who's the zombie? So they don't never rebel.
It's funny. The zombie sounds like you're saying zombie, but just in a Haitian accent.
Because it's Haitian. That's where it comes from. The white man saying the Haitian word in the white man's English.
That's what's really happening. Thank you for correcting me.
So the zombie, the Boko has extensive knowledge of poisons such as tetrodotoxin, which is found in the pufferfish. Okay. And they administer this pufferfish poison to an individual, rendering them in a state that resembled death. They get buried and everything, and the Boko will go and dig him up because he can only breathe, so he still got to breathe. Digs him up. Okay. Then so after they're buried, the drugged individual is buried only to be exhumed later and enslaved, kept docile by being administered now a psychoactive drug like datura, also known as the zombie cucumber. So they would give them that drug now that has them enslaved. It makes them listless, so they dragging their feet, right? They can't speak, and they are highly susceptible to suggestion.
You seen that in mental hospitals.
Right, exactly.
Drugs that basically do the same thing.
Right.
Real quick, Bob, producers that are out there watching this that I have that I sent you the chat, we need a Funk Master Flex bomb drop. We need that. Bobby just reminded me. When Bobby saying shit, I need that button. I can say, hit the bomb sound. Yeah, we need that.
Right.
I ain't have no clue,
not like Funk Master Flex.
I'm sorry, the DJ Clue bomb drop.
We need the warrior class.
We need the warrior class bomb drop. That's what we need.
Now, that's the classic zombie. All right. It's very much a living human being who, through drugs, religious ceremony, and behavioral manipulation, were convinced that they were dead and that their soul had been taken from them.
Wow. Tricknology.
Okay.
So that is a zombie.
The original.
Kalani says, Siapu salute. Coupe tete bouleke. Yes. Now that's the word of revolution, of the Haitian Revolution. Okay.
If you don't
now, our manifesto said ruthless. Yes, they're ruthless. Bokor is spelled B-O-K-O-R. Bokor.
And they took that too. In the movies, Hollywood took this the zombie whole thing and made movies about it. And tried to, and that's what the whole scare from voodoo and stuff originated.
The serpent and the rainbow.
Yep.
Serpent and the Rainbow is based on truth.
Yeah.
That's based on a book, a non-fiction book that was written.
It was before that.
It had sensationalism in it, but so the Serpent and the Rainbow reveals how they actually made the zombie. Right, but you have movies that Hollywood made, like White Zombie.
Yeah, that was just crazy.
Like that were making us seem so evil. Even to this day, they make Vodou seem evil as hell.
Yeah, most definitely. You all you gotta say is voodoo or vodou to a black person, and
they're done.
Crumble. Yeah.
Ooh.
I have a
you that evil stuff on me.
While we're on this topic,
the same thing with us when you talk about going camping. I don't do that camping stuff. And from the forest. From the forest. But we've been so removed from our own natural stuff.
Yeah, bro.
That we hate it.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean, hatred, that is the exact.
But a lot of us who call ourselves African. I'm African. But won't go out into that forest, goddammit, and sleep a night.
Right. And a lot of us feel the same way.
Africans on the continent won't do it.
Right. And a lot of us here feel the same way.
Now, not breaking on Jesus, but they ain't trying to do nothing with their culture either. You talk about Vodou to them.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I've had Africans caution me about wearing cowrie shells. Like, yeah, they have actually come to me and try to counsel me about it.
I was walking through a mall, and a brother from the continent owned the store, and he stops me because I had an African. Now he got on African garb. I got on African garb. He says, it's nice to see you wearing it. It's just you don't know what that means. I said, I don't know what this means. Wow. That's how I run down the history of.
Just assume what. Just
and he looking, getting teary eyed. I said, man, go ahead on, go get you a tissue, dry them damn tears off. you insulted me.
Right.
Now you find out that I know more than you expect, and so now I'm okay. That's like white man saying it's blacks and it's niggers. Doing the same thing. I had a Filipino tell me that once. They're blacks and niggers.
I ain't gonna lie, Bob. I kind of feel like they're blacks and niggas too.
Well, we can say it. It's like right. I can say something about my mama. Nobody else better not say the same thing.
You ain't bullshit now. You're right. That ain't for them to say. That is safe for them to say. I do want to ask you real quick. And if this can be a quick thing, I don't know, but I know you would be the person to ask. Is there, and what is the difference between hoodoo and voodoo, or is that just a pronunciation?
Huge difference. So there's hoodoo, voodoo, vodou, vodun. Okay.
We need to go. That need to be a show, probably.
No.
Okay.
Hoodoo.
It sounds like a show, though.
Hoodoo, African herbalism was herbalism that came from Africa that Black folk use now to affect to heal, to kill, to affect certain events.
Okay? Is that what they call witchcraft?
No, they call it working roots.
Okay, copy that. I feel you.
Root work, working roots, right? Conjure. They also call it that. That's hoodoo. Voodoo is the New Orleans version of Vodou from Haiti. When the the enslaved Haitians were brought over to New Orleans, they bought that as well. And so it got watered down a little bit, but it still has its effects. And then white people grasped hold of voodoo and studied it, but they said voodoo, okay? Hoodoo is also studied by white folks in the hills, in the Appalachians, however you say it, right? Vodou, like I said, is from Haiti. Vodou, which is Vodou, you don't say the N, Vodun, because it's nasalized in most West African languages. So Vodou, that is the tradition in Benin in West Africa. Okay, so those are the differences.
Thank you for the history. Thank you for the history, sir. We appreciate you.
And Vodou is similar to Ifa. If people know Ifa, you know. All right, so now
the modern zombie.
I strive to know Ifa.
Yeah, well. The modern zombie does not share much historically with the Haitian zumbi, other than the name. The modern zombie that was introduced in George Romero's original Night of the Living Dead was born from vampires, particularly as portrayed by Richard Matheson in his 1954 novel, I Am Legend. In the novel, the protagonist, Robert Neville, is the sole survivor of a biological pandemic that caused people to turn into vampires. I Am Legend took vampirism out of the realm of romantic fantasy and turned it into a real biological condition that could be scientifically explained. Romero's undead were just like Matheson's vampires. They were biologically infected people who were driven to consume biological matter. The vampire sought after blood and the zombie after flesh. It is important to note that although we tend to think of zombies as wanting to eat brains, Romero's zombies didn't lust after brains. That idea was first presented in the 1985 film Return of the Living Dead.
Great movie.
So a lot of people will say that started with George Romero about them brains. That did not. That started in 1985. Okay. And even having the zombies say brains. That's going towards more the comedic, campy type stuff.
Evil Dead.
Because the Evil Dead, it was campy as hell.
I loved Evil Dead.
But they actually are demons. They're not.
Yeah, right. That was different.
Zombies, but that's when action horror really took off, right? Yeah. And I'll talk about that one day. Well, I ended up seeing the Evil Dead by accident in the theater.
Oh, I didn't see it by accident in the theater, but on TV. So Romero's zombies are without a doubt the quintessential archetype for the modern zombie. But as a subset of those zombies is known as the living zombies. The living zombie was first made popular in the 2002 movie 28 Days Later. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Living zombies differ from Romero's zombies in that they are alive. They're not the Walking Dead. Another difference between the living zombies and Romero's zombies is that the living zombies tend to be fast, where Romero's zombies tend to be slow. Romero's zombies hunger for human flesh, but living zombies tend to be driven by uncontrollable rage. Both are relentlessly aggressive and made by biological infections.
So the zombie wants to consume. That's the whole thing. The zombie wants to consume. So they're a symbol.
We know who the consumers are.
Of consumerism at its highest degree. Okay. So they represent the corporation and they represent the people who consume what the corporations give. Okay. Zombies are not worried about their safety. Think about it. They're not worried about their safety. So you teaching them, hey, don't eat that. It's dangerous. They ain't trying to hear that shit. They ain't trying to hear it. When my wife loved telling people, hey, the Beyond Burger and the Impossible Burger are dangerous as hell. Vegans who eat those not trying to hear that shit. With people who say, I got a plant-based lifestyle, that mean I'm playing with veganism. I got a plant-based lifestyle. They ain't trying to hear what y'all are gonna say.
So we got zombies in our personal lives right now.
In our personal lives.
Like the Fela song.
So zombies are not worried about their safety. They have no desire to be loved, listen, or to belong. I ain't trying to be part of the organization. I ain't trying to. They have no. So you're telling them, but you're talking to a zombie now. They never feel bad about themselves or feel like they have to work on their self-esteem, and they don't strive to realize their true potential. Come on now.
Boy, sound like church.
Experience the stimulus of hunger, and as a result, engage in the behavior of consuming.
Wow.
So why are people so enamored with zombies? Because people enjoy horror.
For one.
People enjoy horror. As the entertainment industry is exceedingly aware, people love to be scared. People love horror. Why? There are 4 reasons. Now this, I learned in a psychology class at Howard, where we would watch horror films and then analyze them. Okay. And this came about, why'd you even take this class? Okay.
Right.
So number 1, horror can actually make people feel good. When watching a horror movie, people become physiologically aroused due to the fight or flight response. The arousal caused by the movie lasts after the movie has ended. So other experiences that a person has are also heightened during that time. Okay. Other experiences. You take your girl to a horror movie. Both y'all watching it. The arousal is heightened. Well, you know what happens after that. Okay. That's why when I was a teenager, older guys would tell you, take your woman to a horror movie. Take your man to a horror movie. Because after that, you're getting some.
I never liked horror movies.
Now, you should see when you were a teenager, you should have looked at them more. See?
You're right. I started late.
Right. Number 2 is the genomic lag. The genomic lag is the idea that humans have prehistoric nervous systems that have not adapted as fast as technology has advanced. So the brain does not really, you hear me say this all the time, like this. So the brain does not readily recognize the difference between what it sees in the environment and what is playing on a movie or television screen. The brain doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality because of the genomic lag. Okay.
I tell people that all the time, man.
To the brain, what moves it sees, and what it sees exists. If you don't know a thing, it doesn't exist. Well, how do you bring it into existence? You show it to people, because what moves, the brain sees, and what it sees, now it exists to that brain.
So, Bob, can I just say something, man? That what you just said last night, I was explaining to somebody because we saw they were showing how X-Files, the X-Files series that came back out back in the days. This ain't gonna take but a second, but it's a episode in there that's actually talks about the virus and the pandemic and riots and all that. One episode, And so somebody that was watching it, BD was looking at it, he was like, see, they got to tell you before they can do it. They got to tell you. So I said to him, I was like, but why do people say that? Do you know why people say they got to tell you? He's like, nah, that's just something that is ingrained that people done said to me a bunch of times. And I was like, well, the reason they say that they got to tell you first is because just like you said, to make something manifest, what you got to do, you got to put it in your head first. Then you got to bring it out. They tell it's like a vision board. Now, I want to do something. I want to build in civilization. I want to build something out here. The easiest way to manifest that is to put it in millions of people's heads.
Right.
That's manifesting.
Make them see it.
That's manifesting. That's why they tell you first. They're not telling you, you helping them visualize. So that's why you got to watch what you consume. That's why it's so important to watch what you take in. I'm sorry, I just had to.
Right. And by consuming, that's also, you consume with your eyes, not just your mouth.
Yebo, that's what I'm talking about.
So just be careful. Now,
you can't unsee shit.
Right. That's why I don't watch car accidents. Okay. When a person watches a horror movie, they intellectually understand that what they see is not real intellectually. To the brain, however, the images are very real and therefore produce a very real physiological response.
Video games.
Like, shoot, okay. You walking down the street and it's a dude, he's 6'8", weigh 400 pounds, 2% muscle. This dude is huge. And he says, man, I just want to whoop your mother ass, right? A person who's not trained, and a person who's not trained will tell me, man, that dude whoop your ass. He'll tear you up. Because he's seen this person, and now he's had a physiological response. That shit, this dude can beat my ass. I'm gonna get beat down. So now you're afraid. You're shaking and shivering.
Because how does it go?
Why would he shake and shiver and I don't? Because even though we're seeing the same thing, my training has caused me to have a different physiological response. He exists, even looking at him, but even I'm looking at him and see that he's dangerous. This dude may be a cough away from death, but we seeing him, goddamn, or people who are huge and they taking steroids, they almost dead, man. They're killing themselves. But we don't see that. We don't see the inside of them. We don't see the fused spine. We don't see the enlarged heart. We don't see those kind of things, right? So all we see is them big muscles, and he got that big fit. He's dangerous. I used to, with my children, grandchildren, they were arguing, acting a fool in the restaurant, right? They clowning, they arguing back and forth. I take out one of my knives. I said, stop. I didn't say I'm gonna cut you. I said, stop. Open the knife, right? My mother said, why'd you do that? I said, you see them now, though. They sitting up straight because they've seen me work the knife before, and then I just flick it out, right? And then I put it up. So they, holy shit. Because I changed, I gave them a physiological response, like, we're gonna get cut up if we keep cutting up. I ain't have to say it.
Menacing children.
Right, now that's why, it's my children. Of course, afterwards, I'm joking with them and stuff, so they hide, but I had to, because my mother just like, oh God, they drive me crazy,
That's the same.
I had to get them under control quick, and I wasn't gonna be out yelling and shit in the restaurant.
That's the same reason why I stopped playing video games. I'm like, people, you could say whatever you want to say, you could tell yourself it ain't real. I finished playing and I'm pouring down the sweat. Shit, like all the stress, all the anxiety, I'm holding the stick like this. You're stressed out.
Me and one of my students, Paul, bought the first Resident Dead. So let's try this out. And so I took it home first. I closed the blinds, turned off the light.
Yeah, Resident Evil, Baba.
Resident Evil, excuse me. Yeah, Resident Evil.
I remember.
And I was like, oh, I know I'm playing a damn game, but I am freaking everything in the house, and I wasn't smoking and no shit like that.
I remember the first Resident Evil too.
I was freaked out. There's a part you go upstairs, like in the police station, and it's a circular, like hallway or whatever, right? And the zombies are coming like this. And I'm like popping the zombie. Then another room, the door opens. Oh, and now I am fucked up. Mentally fucked up to the point, and I said, I can't save, I can't. Oh, and so I'm just shooting them, running, and I am, like you said, drenched. And as soon as I could, I turned the lights on when I got to a save point. And I'm like, man, it's too much. I can't play this. Put it down. I went and drank some water. I looked at the TV screen, right back at it. Yet again, it's just wild, right? So it causes that response. And for me, I don't get afraid a lot. So that feeling of fear, for me, I liked it because I don't get it. And so that gave me what I've been searching for a long time. Okay. It's theorized that having that you said that's crazy, want to be afraid. I want to experience the feeling. Okay. It's theorized that having an experience of terror is a way that humans can participate in what is experienced during rites of passage. Anybody who's been through a rite of passage, whether it's a traditional African rite of passage,
been through a couple.
Yeah, sorority, fraternity, whatever it may be, you know that there's a part where you experience fear.
The perception of terror
Right.
was amongst us.
So it's theorized that having an experience of terror is a way that humans can participate in what is experienced during rites of passage. In all cultures around the world, all religions, all non-religious, they have a rite of passage.
Gangs.
Yeah, I mean everything to become part of Black Power media. There's a rite of passage.
Right.
You don't just jump on Black Power media.
Right.
You got, hey, I got a show. You have to be vetted. There's things that go on. If you're serious and really want a show on Black Power Media, until we've all voted and made our decision about it, it may be that feeling of terror. Okay. Experiencing horror involves some sort of symbolic, this is 3, some sort of symbolic catharsis. So watching horror movies may help people enhance their ability to cope with danger. By watching a horror movie, a person experiences a sense of danger that must be dealt with. A person finds a way to cope with the situation and comes out of the experience unharmed. So you're dealing with danger, but not really the chance of being actually harmed. Watching horror movies allows an appropriate outlet for violent and or aggressive impulses. Living in a civilized society, people may use horror as a way of connecting appropriately with more primal impulses. Okay. Number 4, a morbid curiosity that humans have wired into them by nature. Most people can relate to trying to catch a glimpse of what happened as they drive by a car wreck, like I spoke earlier. Wanting to see the new FBI crime scene photos that have just been released. Wanting to see those videos of George Floyd being murdered by the cop.
Yeah.
Wanting to hear about the exploits of the latest serial killer. If I said I just had to defend myself against this guy on the street who was messing with Yellow Goon and Ye filmed it. I've got the film. I guarantee you, at least one of my students and several people on this line, on this show, would say they want to see it.
You damn right.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
If I said, well, I'm going to play it, because you may not want to say it publicly, you want to see it. I'm going to play it. How many people would look away from that? Not many. They're going to watch. Yeah. Because we have this morbid curiosity. That is ingrained in us by nature. Because if something dangerous going on, we want to see make sure we ain't caught up in it.
No, Bob. If you grew up around morbid situations, is it likely that you don't like that as much now, unless it's like I don't know.
Deal with that in just a second.
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah, I forgot.
So people have a morbid curiosity about negative things such as horror because there's a survival benefit to examining and understanding things that are a danger or a threat. So I know it's dangerous. I know stay away from that mug, right? If a person understands, this answer to your question, and can detect the threat, they are more likely to successfully cope with the event and survive the exposure. So the answer, if a person lives in a place where negative things are going on, violence and things, do they have the curiosity? No, because they're living it. But with those same people who at home, they're getting beaten down by their daddy or husband or wife or mama, would they watch a horror film? Sure.
Right.
Probably more likely, because that may allow them to be able to cope with it without having to go through the beatdown.
I was specifically thinking about the accident. Like, if you've been in an accident, it may have the adverse reaction. You see an accident, you don't even want to look. Like when you hurt your leg, you see it in sports, you don't look. You don't even want to see it because you've experienced it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I tell you, my cousin just was in the newspaper. She died from a horrific car accident in Jackson, Mississippi. The car, they were in a large car. I think I told you the entire front, not I can bubble, the entire front of the car up to about where they're sitting was gone. That's how devastating it was. This is my cousin. I looked at the picture because they put it in the newspaper. Like, damn. I said, God, oh my God, this is terrible. I feel for my cousin Vernon, who's the grandfather I killed. Feel for my cousin's mother. And I went back to that picture though. Kept going back looking. My wife looking. Let me see that again. Because I recognize that is, and so that's somebody I love, but I kept going back to it because that morbid, and I knew I would go back to it because I'll let you know. I'm not afraid to let you know this. Everybody fears something. And I used to think I was abnormal because it wasn't no human being. But the main fear I have is to be in a horrific car accident and not die. You said, what? Not die? I'm not afraid of death. I said that a long time ago. When we come out of the womb, we're already headed toward death. We're headed toward death. It don't matter how you eat, how you exercise, how many weapons you got, how well you're trained, you're going to die one day. Death whoops all our ass. We can't defeat death and we can't outrun it. But you get in a horrible accident and you're alive, but you're crippled. I go from being a person who can defend myself, train other people to defend themselves, I can defend my family, to somebody that can't move from the neck down. That is terrifying to me. That terrifies me. I have a problem telling you. That scares me. Okay? So if the enemy going to set me up with a car bomb, set it up to blow up, that don't scare me. Set that motherfucker up to just fuck me up. That scares me.
Yeah, I feel you.
Right?
Man.
So I knew I was going to keep going back to that picture because even though it killed my cousin, it didn't kill the other 4 people in the car.
The picture you talking about is the picture of the vehicle, right?
Yeah, not my cousin. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I understand, but I understand what you're saying because it's so, I guess, horrific.
Right.
It's like I can't believe this happened almost too type of thing. Yeah, so yeah, that's different than blood and guts too. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but some people, they would still look at them blood and guts.
I know. You probably would, Bob, but it's okay. I ain't mad at you.
Not of my cousin.
Not you. No.
But somebody else.
I'm sorry. That's not
Somebody
even
else.
funny.
Somebody else, I probably would. Yeah.
Like, oh, what they did to Bile.
Well, I tell you, when I went to the hospital, our sister, another student, Boomy, got into a car accident with Bile.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
She was in the hospital. They both got in an accident together in the car. She was driving.
Head on.
Bile went home. She didn't go home.
Right.
So I went to the hospital to see her, and the opposite. So I'm seeing her. I'm happy. She's fine. She had a picture that the fire department or whoever, the ambulance, took of the thing. They gave her the picture.
Oh yeah, I took pictures of the car.
Yeah. Oh, you took the picture. Okay, so I looked at the accident. I turned away from her. I started crying because the fact, like, goddamn, they lucky.
The front end was tore off, basically like you was talking
right.
about. I don't know how man.
But my cousin was killed, but the 4 other people, including the driver, lived. Now, usually the driver gets less damage than the passenger in the front seat. Why? Right. Because the driver going to defend themselves instinctively.
Right. And the stern wheel. That's a big help because you got something bracing you versus the other person is loose.
Although one of my teachers got in an accident and the steering wheel got embedded in her chest.
Well, that part can be bad when that happens.
She lived, though. She was gagged up for a long time.
Man,
she lived.
I'm sorry.
Now, me, I'd have kept that in there, and people say, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm like,
but it'll be a big turn off to have a Chevy sign on your titty. We tell you.
Say who?
It's a big turn off. She got a Chevy sign on her titty.
Well, that might be cool.
It's cool when you're young, as you get older. Oh, Chevy titty.
Call her Mustang.
Excuse us, family. We had veered off the subject terribly.
Yeah, all right. So
zombies are us.
Yes.
One of the main reasons that people are fascinated by zombies is that zombies are us. More than any other monster or thing that goes bump in the night, we can relate to zombies because we are zombies. Zombies aren't born of fairy tales. They don't require magic or some supernatural explanation to exist. Zombies are simply infected people. As everyone has been infected by a virus at some point in their lives, people can understand how zombies come to be, which makes the possibility of their existence all the more plausible.
I'm sorry, y'all. I just keep because zombies are a metaphor. I just thought about. I don't know if y'all ever seen Taye Diggs at the end of was it Malibu's Most Wanted? It's one of my favorite scenes. Is Taye Diggs is an actor that they hired to play a gangster.
Oh yeah.
And so at the end, it's this big explosion, and the news is there, and this is his chance to be on camera, and he's waiting for his chance when he finally gonna come. The explosion was a metaphor for the anger, for the white man, and they took the camera from him as soon as he said that. They said, yeah. So I'm sorry, but consuming monotony. So the zombie is indeed a metaphor for what's wrong with the human condition, particularly the monotony of our lives and our drive to consume. Our lives have become monotonous due to the need to consume goods. People get up, get out of bed, get dressed, drive to work, stare at the computer all day, drive home, eat, stare at the television screen, and then go to bed, only to wake up the next day and do the same damn thing.
I think we're forgetting about online shopping. That should definitely be in there somewhere.
Well, that's in the routine too. It's all part of your daily. The point is, daily routine. We get caught in the routines of just day in, day out. Like the zombie, people shamble through their daily mindless slaves to their never-ending drive to consume more and more. I wanted to add on. It's just ridiculous. But the cycle, man, break the cycle.
Now, are zombies real? Among preppers, The zombie apocalypse is a catch-all phrase for the vast variety of disasters that can occur. Yeah, but are zombies real? Well, if they aren't, why does the CDC have a plan for surviving the zombie apocalypse called Preparedness 101? And you can look this up yourself. Preparedness 101 Zombie Pandemic. Preparedness 101 Zombie Pandemic starts with a scary comic book-like setup and then gives you instructions and a list at the end that instruct you to create an all hazards kit for your home, office, school, or vehicle. Are zombies real? In an unclassified document titled CONOP, C-O-N-O-P, 8888, CONOP 8888, officials from U.S. Strategic Command, Department of Defense now, used the specter of a planet-wide attack by the Walking Dead as a training template for how to plan for real-life, large-scale operations, emergencies, and catastrophes. Now, these folks will say, well, we did this for fun. When have you known the CDC and the DOD to just be fun cats? Just fun. When have you known that? Okay, so why are they doing this? That means zombies are a metaphor for something, or they know that something is coming down the pipe to make people like what they have defined as zombies. Now, while some folks scorn even humoring the idea of a zombie apocalypse, others have embraced it as a real part of their emergency preparedness and survival training. And it is one of the main reasons people choose to prepare. When you ask, why do you prepare? Among preppers, serious preppers, mind you, not like just, trivial folks, serious preppers, in the top 3 reasons preparing for the zombie apocalypse is number 1. That's why a lot of Black preppers came to believe that when white preppers are talking about it, they're talking about us.
Yeah, Mom.
Listen, them folks, when the toilet paper ran out, like a bunch of zombies was out there at Walmart, and that's what folks look like.
Killing zombies. Since the booming success of zombies in pop culture, from Resident Evil to World War Z to The Walking Dead, people have been asking, would I survive the zombie apocalypse? Anatomy of a zombie. On the inside, we're all made of the same ooey gooey stuff. Zombies too. Zombies look like humans, but they behave differently. And for obvious reasons, behavior equal brain. Night of the Living Dead wasn't the first zombie story to make this connection. That honor goes to the 1955 thriller Creature with the Atom Brain. But Romero's 1906 masterpiece took this logic one step further. The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon has disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull.
So they call them ghouls, not zombies, in Night of the Living Dead. So
Okay. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul. Kill the brain and you kill the ghoul. Over time, this trope evolved into what we know today. The only way to take out a zombie is to hurt the head. Anything else, like blows to the heart or the guts or other typical fatal trauma, like electrocution or sometimes even drowning, just won't do the trick.
And that seems wrong. Shouldn't there be more ways to take down a zombie? Now, zombie brain infections aren't unheard of in real life, especially in the insect kingdom. They're known to be caused primarily by parasites, bacteria, or virus. The Ophiocordyceps fungus causes infected insects to climb upward to the highest point available before their gruesome demise. And of course, it targets the brain and the nervous system. A zombified body still uses brain still uses its brain to coordinate muscles and find other vulnerable individuals to infect. But that's about it. All other insects become either numbed or completely erased. There's no sense of emotion or self-preservation. Only the hunt remains. This is why traditional methods of incapacitation won't work against the zombie horde. Pain doesn't register to a zombie like it would in a living human, like somebody on PCP. The only proper method to kill the walking dead is to target the one thing that actually makes a zombie, the infected brain.
Now, Yapo, you came in late, but we broke down that George Romero zombies didn't eat brains. That came in 1985. George Romero's movie came in 1968. They ate flesh. The brain thing came in 1985. It didn't come from George Romero, just so you know. All right, but you're right. Even in 85, the eating brains thing brains represent the intellect, while they themselves are mindless. But it also talks about the mindless consuming the intellect of others given to them. So we're giving you Apple and telling you it's the best phone. We're giving you this movie, telling you to watch. We're giving you Black Panther 2, what is it? Wakanda Forever. And telling you this is a great movie. We're giving you these things, and people eating it up. Okay, the mindless, they ain't thinking about it. Now, we're gonna deal with tools for killing zombies, and zombies without the quotation marks. Okay, we're picking a tool to survive the zombie apocalypse, and it's to survive, not necessarily just to kill them either. It's to survive. Think about what the best tool would be over what would be the coolest tool. Because a popular thing, people for some reason love in zombie films to use
a crowbar,
chainsaw. Chainsaw gonna run out of power. It's heavy as hell. If you don't know what you're doing, you can cut yourself.
Right. Chain come off.
Right, the smartest damn thing. So anyway, many factors come into play when choosing a tool. Storage space in your shelter, the weight and storage space available if you are on the move, how loud said weapon would be, etc. Listed below are effective tools for you to choose from. So in any apocalypse, you may have to hunker down. There are times you may have to move. You have to think of what tools you're going to have, because I have so many firearms. If I move, I've already thought about who I'm going to give the firearm to carry, and some of them just going to leave. And somebody goes into the house and we have to leave, and somebody said, man, they go to an abandoned house, and they come in, well, they get lucky because I left them some tools. I ain't going to leave no ammo. Well, maybe I got a whole lot of ammo too.
We ain't even ammo. I'll take
anybody who's gone to shoot with me has seen my ammo case. My daggone ammo case, just the first one that I take to the range, weighs over 100 pounds.
That's something you should be thinking about out there too. I know everybody getting firearms and stuff, but what you gonna shoot? Make sure you got some ammunition.
Make sure you got the ammo. Make sure you got ways of storing and carrying that ammunition. Okay, storing and carrying it.
Storing and carrying.
Right.
I keep mine in Tupperware. I post that ain't good.
No, that's not good. When that mug sweating, your jaw just sweating, you put it in there.
I'm bullshit.
Shooting. Now, listen below here are effective tools for you to choose from. First, firearms. Among the firearms, I'm dealing with different categories. Semi-automatic, magazine-fed rifles. I didn't say assault rifles. I said semi-automatic, magazine-fed rifles.
What's the difference? We need to know. Here we go.
Able to be loaded and ready quickly and capable of providing sustained, accurate fire from arm's length out to standoff ranges at a rate as rapidly as the shooter can comfortably acquire targets. This sort of tool will prove useful in nearly all survival situations, ranging from hunting and taking small and large game to defending yourself against other humans to mowing down zombies, as long as you shoot them in the head, of course. Depending on the cartridge chamber, the shooter may also be able to defeat armored targets and light barriers as well. Okay. I'd recommend, really, I don't recommend specific tools, but in this case, you're going to get tools for your survival. I'm going to recommend some. I'm not recommending the company, I'm recommending the tool. Okay. The FN Scar H, that's 7.62 by 51. 7.62 millimeter by 51. That's a large, powerful round. So you've heard me talk about a Mosin Nagant with 7.62 by, that's 51 also. That can shoot through the trunk of a tree and kill somebody on the other side. Powerful round. AK-47 is 7.62 by 49. So it's more powerful than that. The FN Scar H. Now, people, they just say scar. What does scar mean? Or they say, I want one of them FN scars. It's not scars. It means something. It don't mean you got scars. The FN scar means Special Operations Forces. So Special Operations Forces, that's the S. Combat. Now this is assault rifle. They use assault, but that's not a proper term for the rifle. But so Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle. That's SCAR. That's what that means. When you hear people say, I want that SCAR rifle, child. I want that SCAR rifle. And it's FN SCAR H is specifically what you want. Okay. Special Operations Forces Combat Assault Rifle. Next is the Ruger 1022. That's a 22 long rifle. I have several of them. People say, but 22, man, they don't hit like of course they don't hit like a 7.62. It'll kill you, though. It'll kill a zombie. It'll kill. And I trained, me first shot the 7.62 when she was about 9-10 years old with no problems. So you can have your children carry and shoot those. So,
Bobby, you talking about the Ruger or the 7.62?
Ruger is the company. No, I'm talking about the 1022. That's the 22 long rifle.
Okay.
Jamie could not, she could shoot because she's taller and bigger. She could shoot a 7.62, but she wouldn't like it.
Okay.
It hit with so much power. But that 22, you're like, shit, did it shoot? Because there's no recoil. So, especially with a rifle, oh, you ain't feeling no recoil. Right? AR-15, of course. Most popular rifle in the world. It shoots the .223 Remington or 5.56 by 45 NATO. That's AR-15. You say, don't that mean assault rifle? No, it means armor light rifle. Armor light, ARMALITE. That's what AR, armor light rifle, AR means in the AR-15. It does not mean assault rifle. That's the news using that to make it sound worse. Because that sounds scary. An assault rifle, I'm assaulting you, right? That's why.
Only to assault. I'm
glad they haven't jumped on SCAR. They found out it not only scars you, but it is an assault rifle. So I'm glad they don't, because they don't know firearms. They just talk the shit that's the button words to push your buttons.
Right.
So people know AR-15, right? But it doesn't mean assault rifle. It means armor light rifle. And 223 or 5.56. 223 is most common. The 5.56 version, it hits harder. But once again, if it hits harder, it's got more of a recoil.
I found this outside. It's like a pretty big. Right, I don't know what this is right here. I don't know what this is.
Just read the back of it, and it'll tell you what it is, what size it is.
Let's say 30.
Yes.
Dot
06.
I don't know what that is. Somebody must have
30-06. Yeah, I don't either. That's a 30-06 rifle round.
Somebody
also, So if you hear 308 Winchester,
Yep.
and the 30-06 are the same size basically. So the same type of round, they hit hard. Okay.
Some can shoot. Can one shoot the other one, Baba?
What you mean shoot the other one?
The other can a 30-aught shoot a 308?
What do you mean shoot it? I can shoot you with a
No, I mean I'm saying so the 30-06 is a rifle, right?
And yes, and so is the 308 Winchester. Oh, you mean put it in there?
Right.
Yes, I wouldn't recommend it. And that's why I can tell which one shoots the other one.
Right. One, I can't remember. One shoots the other one better. The other one
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about offline.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not that I got either one. I don't know where this came from. I just found this one, but go ahead, Bob. I'm sorry.
Now, the third one, the fourth one is the Ruger Mini 14. So we got the Ruger 1022. That's lightning. You got a child, or you just prefer a lighter tool. 1022 long rifle. That's the Ruger 1022. It shoots 22 long rifle. Now the Ruger Mini 14.
Pretty.
That is, I'm gonna say a substitute for the AR-15. But it's, if you say, damn, the AR-15, too many people shooting it, I'm tired of it, get a Ruger Mini 14. It also shoots the .223 Remington or the 5.56 by 45. It shoots the same rounds that the AR-15. Now, you cannot put a 5.56 round in a .223 AR-15. Just know that. So you got to buy the specific. Either it shoots a .223 or it shoots a 5.56. Okay. If you want it closer to the military, you would get the 5.56 version. That's like the military's M16. That's a AR-15, same thing. Okay. The now, I'm going to, so that's the rifles. Now I'm going to semi-automatic magazine-fed handguns. Almost as important as a solid long rifle. If you're going to talk about survival, if you can get these firearms for your survival, where you live, shit changes. Some stuff is harder to get, but a sidearm is as important. Okay, it should accompany a rifle. You can maintain a safe distance from the target in the event that your rifle runs dry on ammunition, malfunctions, or otherwise failed. Such a tool can be easily drawn and quickly reloaded and ensures that barring some extraordinary circumstance, the shooter will always be armed. I recommend. Now, what I'm recommending for you is different from what I recommend for people in our group, which we call USPI, the Urban Survival Preparedness Institute. There's a reason why. I recommend the Glock 19. That's 9 millimeters. And when you talk about 9 millimeters, 9 by 19 millimeter, okay? That's the Glock 19. There are several Glocks that are 9 millimeter. I believe the 23 is another. I recommend the 19. The Smith & Wesson M&P. That means military and police, but you can also carry the Smith & Wesson M&P. That comes in 9 millimeter, 380, 40, and 45. 9 millimeter, 380, 40, and 45. Okay. The 380, when people talk about 380, that's the automatic version of a 38 round, just so you know. 38 you put in a revolver, 380 you put in the same size. Now, crossbows. Everybody be watching The Walking Dead. I want a crossbow for survival. They got real popular from The Walking Dead. But they are good tools for survival. Some manner of crossbow would likely be as valuable as any firearm and will provide a survivor with a means of eliminating single targets with a degree of stealth not afforded by other range tools like a firearm. Because firearm, you're going to hear it. You're not going to hear the crossbow when it fires, hits you, or hit somebody. Aimed in a manner similar to a rifle, crossbows would prove much easier for most individuals to accustom themselves to, because it doesn't have recoil, nothing to be afraid of with that, especially those who already possess experience in handling long guns. As the added benefit, any ammunition expended could be recovered and reused, provided that it was not damaged by the initial use. So you hit a zombie in the head, it don't break, pull it out the head, you can use it again. You can't do that with a bullet. Now, one thing you got to know about crossbows or long bows, composite bows, is the draw weight. People hear about that, but so if a bow has 50 pounds of draw weight, drawing the bowstring is just as difficult as lifting a 50-pound dumbbell off the ground. Mm-hmm. If you can't lift a 50-pound dumbbell off the ground, don't get a bow. If you can't lift a 50-pound dumbbell off the ground, you probably need to be working out unless you got some kind of physical ailment. You need to work out, but damn. All right, so, or if it's hard to lift that 50, it's going to be hard to pull that 50, okay? Just so you know. On crossbows, you often hear draw weight referred to as pull, okay? So a model with a 150-pound draw weight, which is the most common, might be listed as having a 150-pound pull. So if it has a 150-pound pull, that's the most common. Well, with the crossbows here. That's like lifting a 150-pound weight off the ground. Most of you could probably do that. Okay. Maybe with difficulty, but you can do it. The higher the draw weight, the more powerful the crossbow. But a higher draw weight makes it harder to pull the drawstring back. The average adult man can pull a 150-pound crossbow without too much effort. But remember that doing so a number of times will tucker you out. So most of y'all can lift 150 pounds off the ground. You ain't got to curl it, you just lift it off the ground. You do that 10 times, you go, whew, shit. Well, same.
Right.
So crossbow, you don't want to be using that like that. Ain't like you're in a firefight. You'll wear out. But I recommend the crossbows I recommend. You say, well, what about for the smaller person, the weaker person? Get a pistol. I can't lie to you on that. Excalibur, I can't lie to you. I won't lie to you. And I'm not going to lie to you on that because you'll find out you can't move that mug. Excalibur Crossbow Matrix 405 Mega Crossbow. And I put the price in so you understand that these crossbows cost as much and some more than a pistol.
I found that out real fast shopping for one.
The Excalibur Crossbow Matrix 405 Mega Crossbow costs $1,299.99. So that's $1,300. That's on average. That's $1,300 with a draw weight of 290 pounds. But I love it because that thing hits hard. Yeah. Draw weight of 290 pounds though. Now
that ain't easy.
No,
that ain't easy at all.
You can do it. You can do that. Have your feet there, and then you can pull it. So you grab, you squat, and then you straighten up, and you pull it. But I mean, hell, if you got to do something quickly, you ain't gonna get that quickly. Just so you know. Next is the Barnett Quad Edge 350 FPS crossbow. That's way cheap. That's $500, but that has a 150-pound pull.
Bob, you want me to put the tools in the chat?
No, they go back and listen.
Okay.
Barnett, and I repeat them, Barnett Quad Edge 350 FPS crossbow, $500. It has a 150-pound pull.
Even used, they cost a lot too. So they're going to still be the same price.
Now, with the pistols, I own... Oh, so the pistols, I'm sorry, the SIG P226 instead of P328 I manifesto is what I recommend. That comes in 9mm 40 357 SIG or 22 long rifle. That comes in 940. The same gun you can change out the barrel and shoot a 9, a 40, a 357 SIG, or a 22 long rifle.
Is that why you recommend it?
Yes, that's why I recommend it. And actually, the Army uses that now.
I want one, but it costs.
Yes, now SIG is costly. Way more. It's the top firearm in the world, but it's way more expensive than the Glock or the Smith & Wesson, just so you know. Okay?
I feel like it's easy. Just let one of my whack ass neighbors get one, and then when times, never mind.
Then here you come knocking.
Hey.
Now, the final crossbow is the PSE Dream Seasoned Skull Works, and I don't know why crossbows had these long ass names. PSE Dream Seasoned Skull Works RDX crossbow. That is $709.96 on average, with a draw weight of 155 pounds. Okay, so those are the crossbows. Manually operated shotguns. Shotguns were really just shotguns because I got one that is semi-automatic. Shotguns are an attractive choice provided there are no other alternatives. You say, well, why that? Because you got to get up close and personal with a shotgun.
There you go.
Powerful shit, but got to be close. They are reliable and powerful. When loaded with buckshot, you can deliver the equivalent of 8 rounds of 9mm with one shot. That's how powerful a shotgun is. Getting hit one time with a shotgun is like getting hit 8 times with a 9mm. It's powerful.
Youch.
At 15 yards or less, though. See, so you 45 feet away. Well, zombie, when they do that burst, they get up on you quick. So, just know that.
The World War Z zombies.
World War Z running 45 feet, they on you. But you better be ready to blast that mother, right? And you ain't got to aim. That's the good thing. Shotgun is spread, so you're going to hit that bad boy.
Makes a good home protector.
Huh?
That's why it makes a good home protector.
Yes, exactly. Great for the home. And if your aim is off because you're nervous or your shooting sucks.
Exactly.
Some people shooting just sucks. Shotguns could blow off a zombie's arm or leg, which will at least slow them down. It ain't gonna kill them, but it slow them down. Now even the fast zombie, you're trying to hit it in the head, but you end up hitting the leg because your shooting sucks. It falls, now it's crawling towards you. Now you got time to go ahead and shoot in the head. Okay? While it's on the ground, moving even slower. I recommend shotguns. Mossberg 500, 590, 590, 8-1. They pretty much the same. Pump action. The primary difference between the Model 500 and 590 is in the magazine tube design. You ain't got to worry about that. You can get them in. They're not interchangeable. You get them in the 20 gauge, 12 gauge, or 410 bore varieties. 410 bore does not hit as hard as the 20. The 20 does not hit as hard as the 12. Great middle ground, I like it's the 20. 12, that's somebody like me, easy shoot. Now, we got a student, Ogunlewa, is tiny. 5'2", I believe 5'1", she claimed 5'2". 110 pounds back in the day. She, I'm 110 pounds, but I got up to 112. She bragged about it. She's tiny. And she shoots a 12 like it's nothing. But then I know a man I won't name he's on here, it ain't me. He shot the 12 and he did a backflip twice and fell on his back. So I won't name who it was. It really, it got him. He wasn't expecting that kick. So no, just joking. Some men, I've seen men shoot the 12 and drop it. That's dangerous.
No, I swear I've seen somebody shoot a 12 and it fly right out their hand. Just
right, because it's really just poor shooting for them. That's all.
That's what it is.
But it does have a kick now. I know a sister who shot it and she screamed between each shot. It was a good shot, but just that pain in there, people putting towels like, damn, I ain't putting no towel there. No. But the 20, you can shoot that. It's got a lot of power, especially with buckshot, but it doesn't have that kick like the 12, okay?
Yeah, manifesto. He was saying that it can shoot the different ammo.
Huh?
I was answering a manifesto question you probably already did when he was saying about can that gun shoot the different ammo?
The SIG, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And Yapa
So
was
now,
saying,
somebody said, "What's the SIG barrel again?" I'll do. Well, let me go back to it real quick, just so you know. It's 940, 357 SIG, and 22 long rifle.
Yapu said we may want to check out the case of Mike the Chicken. The head was chopped off and it didn't die for a year and a half, still walking around. Real story. Scientists explained how it kept living. I will definitely check that story out.
Yeah, I will.
I'm very interested in how Mike the Chicken kept living a year and a half. So
yeah. Now, Remington 870 is the next pump action. That comes in 12, 16, 20, 28, and 410 bore gauges. Just so you know, with gauges, the smaller the number, the more powerful.
Yeah.
So a 20 gauge is not as powerful as a 12. A 12 is not as powerful as a 10. A 10 is an elephant gun. You're not just getting that out there.
And a 410 is
410 is small, 410 bore, but it can kill you. Okay.
Yeah.
How
the 28 gauge, so remember, well, I'll deal with that in a second. 16 gauge, well, I dealt with it already. So the Remington 870, that's 410 bore, that's small. 28 gauge is a little bit bigger, but it doesn't hardly hit either. You know, no recoil, I should say. It hits, but no. So it's smaller than the 20. It's got a larger number, so it's smaller. Why? Why is it the smaller the number, the more powerful? Because the gauge means that many balls equals a pound. So in a 28 gauge, 28 balls of those, the steel ball bearing it uses will equal, or lead ball bearing will equal a pound. But in a 10 gauge, 10 of them equal a pound. I mean, they're much bigger.
Yeah, bro.
You understand? So 28 of those balls equal a pound, whereas in a 12 gauge, only 12 of those balls equal a pound. Okay.
Baba.
Yes.
Wouldn't you run into an issue with finding ammo for some of these because of how kind of uncommon the gauges are?
No, actually, the gauges aren't uncommon.
They're not.
They're just not popular.
Okay.
So people have heard 12 gauge. Hit him with that 12 gauge, boy. My daddy had a 12 gauge. Well, that's because that's the most common, most popular, because that you could use a 12 gauge to kill a deer.
And he might have didn't have a 12 gauge.
That's what's called buckshot. It's for killing deers. Right? You kill a big moose, which is the biggest land animal in the United States, close to the size of an elephant. You can kill that with a 12. You can't kill an elephant with a 12, by the way. That's why you have the 10 gauge called the elephant gun. That's another level. And you can't hold a 10 gauge and shoot like they show on TV. That's mounted to something. Okay. But so the Remington, the reason why I like it is because it's got so many gauges. So the 410 bore, that's what they teach the Boy Scouts to shoot with.
That's the gun I had growing up.
410. Then they got the 28 gauge. Now that is not popular at all, so a lot of people ain't even heard of it. But you can get that. You go to Walmart or something in the non-black area. Do not go to Walmart in the black area think you can get firearms or ammo. They don't sell it, which shows their racism, because they sell firearms in white areas, just so you know, but not in black areas. Black Walmarts do not sell firearms or ammunition.
I think I'm gonna post that.
Yesterday, that's where I found my knife, and there was all kinds of firearms and ammunition there.
In the white Walmart. Do not go to that black Walmart. And that's racist as shit. And it should have been somebody should deal with that. Maybe we'll deal with that form of protest on their ass, to be honest.
It's funny that you say that because they were locking up the black hair care products in Walmarts in black areas, and there was a big outcry about that, but no outcry
about the firearms because people. I mean, people should speak out against firearms. If there were no firearms, there would be peace. Shut up. That doesn't make no sense. When there are countries where there's no firearms. There's no peace.
Right.
It wasn't the firearm that broke the peace. It's the people that carry the firearms, not carrying the firearms, that break the peace. So stop that. Now, because that's unrealistic. You're bullshit. That's more realistic than the zombies. Shotgun, Benelli M4 semi-automatic. Okay. The Benelli M4, that's semi-automatic. That's way more expensive. You can get these other shotguns for $200, some places cheaper. The Benelli is way more expensive. I won't look it up. You'll see that's way more expensive than that. I'll say the cheapest that I found back when I had my own Benelli shotgun in the 90s, late 90s, was $800. That's the cheapest. Benelli M4 semi-automatic shotgun. It only comes in 12 gauge, but it's semi-automatic. So you don't shoot, pump. You shoot. Okay. Then you reload. Shoot. So you know. Okay. Now, revolvers. I love revolvers. Some people hate them because of the movies. The movies.
Love revolvers.
They used to. The last time I saw a cool movie when they had a revolver that wasn't a period piece was 48 Hours. That was in the 80s. And so the Eddie Murphy's character, when he stole the revolver from somewhere, but he ended up getting the semi-automatic. Semi-automatic been around since the 40s now. Actually, a little bit before, but they've been since actually before that, the 20s. But they got really popular in the 40s during World War II. They've been around since the 20s. But revolvers have been around long before that. But people, from watching the movies after 48 Hours, everybody got really got super popular with what's the movie with Riggs and Murtaugh? Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
It got super popular. The uncool Murtaugh used the 357 revolver. The cool Riggs used the 9mm. I think he had a 45 Colt too. He cool. So he going through the club wrecking people. He got that, and shooting. He never reloaded. It shot probably 100 times, but hey, that's fake. But hey, it looked good in the movie. But Murtaugh, he do all this. He got to aim, and you have to do all that, and then he takes the shot, boom, because he ain't cool. And so that was in people's heads. Remember, the shit we watch, the things we see, becomes real. So uncool is the revolver. Cool is the pistol. So people say, I just don't like the revolver. What don't you like about it? I just don't like it. But they don't know. They ain't shot the damn thing.
Right.
I just don't like it. I just don't. Stop that. I just don't. I told you that shit is that's the term of the uninformed. I just don't. I just kick them in the nuts. I just get out of here. So anyway, so a revolver is simple, powerful, and reliable. And there are many who prefer revolvers over semi-automatics.
Me?
I do too. They don't jam. They're reliable. But I have both. It's necessary for people on our level to have both.
Yeah. Because
of the magazine capacity of pistols. That's the only.
Yeah. I just grew up
with from revolvers. Now these are named. Well, I named the pistols too, but Ruger GP100. Ruger G as in George, P as in Paul, 100. That's a 5-shot. It comes in different sizes. So the 5-shot is a 44 special. It's not 44 Magnum, it's 44 special. Okay. That's huge. It's a big round, 44 special. That's 5-shot though, because it's so big, so it only has 5 in the cylinder, 5 holes. Okay. 6-shot is a 357 Magnum, the 38 special, and the 10 millimeter auto. These are all Ruger GP 100s. You can get them in different sizes and shots, okay, different calibers. The 7-shot you can buy for the 357 Magnum and the 327 Federal Magnum, or you can get a 10-shot revolver which shoots 22 long rifle. Same 22 that's in the Ruger 1022 I spoke of, the rifle earlier. It shoots rifle round. Okay.
Judge.
You can also get the Smith & Wesson Governor. The Judge shoots like the Governor. It shoots shotgun round. Yeah. So the Smith & Wesson Governor is a snub nose. That means it's smaller. It's more concealable. It shoots 410 bore rounds. That's shotgun rounds. This is a revolver. It shoots 45 Colt or 45 ACP. So it shoots 45 and 410 bore. Powerful. I've shot them, and it doesn't have a bad recoil either. Okay, but I shoot a lot. So it has a recoil now, but not bad if you shoot. Okay. And then the Taurus 608, that has 8 rounds, and it shoots 357 Magnum. Okay. Those are the ones I recommend.
Desiree Gerber says she uses a 22 Magnum revolver, still like no kickback on those. I can't believe how powerful a 22 mag is, but still almost no kickback at all.
Right. It has no, right. So 22 rifle.
Yeah. She said
revolver, 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum. It has no kickback.
She said revolvers are slower and heavier. It takes a little more skill to use one successfully.
But once you're skilled, so one thing is, to make it easier to pull, you pull back. If it has a hammer, now it may have an internal hammer, so you can't. But if it has an external hammer, you pull back the hammer. So if you just squeeze, really not pull. If you squeeze the trigger on a 38, let's say a 357, that has a 10-pound pull. They call it, but 10-pound squeeze to shoot that. You pull back the hammer, it has a 2-pound.
Right, that's what you do.
So you pull back the hammer, boom, and you can fan the hammer, fan shoot, fan shoot, fan shoot. You got to train that though.
Now I got a semi-automatic pistol that I can do with a trigger. I can do the same thing.
You pull back the hammer.
Yeah. I pull back the hammer, adjust the trigger, and make it light versus being heavier. So yeah. That's how much I like revolvers, that I even had to have a hammer on my semi-automatic.
Now they have the ones with internal hammer, those can go in your pocket. So the Governor, it does not have you can't pull back a hammer. It has internal hammer.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Sleek.
Now the melee weapons are hand-to-hand weapons, right? Other than your hand or elbows or whatever, so you're not unarmed, you have a tool. But melee tools, unlike most range tools, melee implements are reliant entirely on the physical strength and endurance of the wielder, and are only practically useful in emergencies. Now, a knife, you don't have to use a lot of strength, but a knife in the zombie apocalypse, you don't want to get that close up on a zombie.
No.
So we're dealing with heavier tools. They are practically useful in emergencies. That's even well-trained individuals in peak physical condition tire very quickly when delivering blows strong enough to destroy the human skull. That's what we're trying to remember. The zombie hit the skull. Person with armor on. It could be a zombie with bulletproof armor on. That armor may have a trauma plate, which is a steel plate you can't get through, So you may have to hit the skull or the neck, which removes the skull. Just so you know. For those zombies that wear armor, body armor. Now, some movies and TV shows handle this by just hand waving things and saying zombie bodies are soft and mushy. Okay, that could be, but not the skull.
Right.
Long after our bodies are rotted away, our skulls will still be here. You'll find skulls still, the teeth still in them, everything. They're in perfect shape, and they're hundreds of years old, thousands of years old. Right. The body may be rotted away. It will be rotted away. But the skull is going to be there. Now, because it's the hardest bone on the body, and that won't change. That's in anything. My father hunted, he's transitioned. He used to hunt bears. There was a rock star that said, Ted Nugent, that he hunts bears with a 44 Magnum. My father said he's a goddamn lie. He said, because I shot a bear with a 30-06 in the head, but you have to hit it in a specific place. He said, hit it in the side of the head, and the bear kept coming. It didn't even slow down. It just got pissed off. He said, so you're not shooting it. He said, you know how close you have to get to shoot it with a 44 Magnum? And he said, and the 44 Magnum is not going to do it. That kills humans. That's not going to kill a bear because the bullet deforms. It hits the bear's skull, it deforms. He said that bear would have torn Ted Nugent's ass in half. So he said he's a goddamn liar. So Ted Nugent was lying, just so you know. Now, your daddy was talking about he used to hunt them with pistols or with .45s. He was lying too. Now, because our parents do lie from time to time.
Whoa.
To impress children, just so you know, because people love to throw the daddy card. My daddy used to do it. Get your ass out there. You're just going to force me to say what I don't want to say. Daddy was bullshit. So since nobody has said it yet, I'll say it before somebody says that shit. Okay, now, a machete or similar edge tool. A machete, while great for clearing paths through thick vegetation, would offer much greater utility as a tool for killing zombies. Okay. While not the most immediately deadly tool on the face of things, a heavy reinforced machete or similar one-handed bladed melee tool like a short sword, khopesh, which is Egyptian short sword, or kukri, has the capability to deliver killing blows to the head of zombies or others. Baseball bat or similar blunt tool. Baseball bats or other sports equipment of similar construction could represent an easily accessible and inconspicuous means of defense and attack. It should be remembered, though, that most blunt weapons are not capable of immediate and guaranteed crippling or disabling of a target. I showed y'all how to use the baseball bat.
What if you wrap it with barbed wire?
You wrap it with barbed wire, it's not going to be any more effective unless you wear a leather jacket too. And you call yourself Negan. Now, and that was done before Negan. That just looked cool. That would scrape your skin, but they don't make you hit any harder. He's like, collapsing people's skulls because it doesn't. No. He had to be strong as shit to just collapse the skull like he did the Glenn skull.
Mm-hmm. Rest in peace, Glenn.
Unless you hit him over and over and over. He did hit him more than once, but he had to hit him like 20 times to just collapse his skull like that. Now, such tools, baseball bat, durability can be greatly determined by the materials composed of. Even heavy wooden implements can develop cracks after only a relatively few solid impacts and then break. So you hit too many heads with a baseball bat, wooden baseball bat, it will break. Okay. Even their aluminum counterparts can be just as vulnerable to damage, bending and deforming in short order. A crowbar is better. You say, what? Yeah, crowbars offer great utility to a survivor. And this is the last tool. enabling their users to force doors open or destroy their facings, pry open containers, easily shatter most glass, and affect other means of entry. But they also represent a decent last-ditch melee tool. Not optimal because they weren't made for combat, but while not optimal given their shape and construction, a crowbar could be used as a solid blunt tool that can be relied upon not to break after a few swings. It ain't gonna bend either.
Yeah, it ain't going nowhere.
You get that crowbar, you could tear through a skull. You can use it both sides, the rounded blunt side, you can use it on the edge with the teeth.
Yeah, that's a bad boy.
Similar to the hammer, but it's got more length.
More power.
More power behind it, right. So those are the tools, and that is what we have on killing zombies. Of course, you can use it to defend yourself against more than just a zombie. If you run into a zombie, I just ask you film it and send it to us.
Yeah, bro.
To an actual, zombie or a zombie that's infected and moving around like a zombie. And you recently saw zombies that were infected or scared of infection. The infection hadn't even hit them yet, but the idea of infection caused the zombies still. When in 2020, late 2020, people afraid of this infection started buying tissue in huge numbers.
Right, exactly.
That's mindless. They were zombies.
That's what I'm saying. We saw zombies when the tissue thing happened. That's what we folks look like.
We were looking at zombies then affected by the infection. You say the infection had to hit your ass.
Right. It ain't have to hit your body. It hit your mind.
It hit your mind, right. So it caused you to be a zombie. You were mindless, buying all this tissue for no reason, and buying tissue instead of water, buying tissue instead of light sources, buying tissue instead of heating sources, buying tissue instead of clothing. But when it got colder, so you could have more layers, buying tissue instead of bag, the items for your go bag or bag, period, to make a go bag, buying tissue for everything, including the student calls me bragging, saying he's ready. I'm ready now, Baba. I said, oh, yeah, me and the wife at the store. I just got 50 containers of tissue. I said, what the fuck did you do that for? Then, huh?
So sorry.
Because now the zombie woke up. Huh? See? So we got zombified. Zombified from lack of training, lack of preparedness, lack of readiness.
I manifesto with that machete you got with the serrated edges. You want to use that more to you don't want to stab with that too much. You can be can cause you a little bit of
right. You slash with that. I was just recently asked about most machetes, modern machetes. Now they have the serrated side, so you can flip that and use it as a saw. Or if you had to, you could flip it and use it to cut too. But yeah, if you're stabbing with that, it can lock onto a muscle and stuff like that. So it's a certain way you can pull it out. But if you can get a machete that's not serrated edge, it's best. Or slash with that more than thrusting. And slashing is better anyway.
Yes.
Than thrusting, just so you know. Now, Desiree Gerber, yes, we all bullets do curve at a certain point out the barrel, but that is negligible when you're shooting with a pistol because you're not from a far distance. Okay. Now, and even with a rifle, and I've shot many under many conditions and in combat, that doesn't really matter until you go out past 300 meters. Now, I've always used that to let people know about when you're sniping an opponent with a hunting rifle. There's really no such thing as a sniper rifle, too, like assault rifle. It's a hunting rifle, but it's used for different things. the curve of the earth is calculated with that for you flat earthers. If you do not calculate that, your shots will not be accurate. So you have to calculate the curve of the earth as well as the round dropping because of gravity, just so you know. And so you know, because of gravity, when you shoot in the air thinking that's cool, that's okay, that round is coming down with killing force. So you shot in the air for New Year's, and now it's coming down and hit somebody in the head, you can still kill them, just so you know. So
before we go, Baba, could you explain why you call not self-defense, why you would say martial arts versus martial science? And when would you call martial arts martial science?
Somebody asked that question?
Well, I just want to clear up because I was about to answer it, but so our manifesto said bullet velocity is a science. Desiree Gerber said facts. I'd push it farther though. Self-defense is a science. And I was about to respond to, but I was like, well, I just want you to.
No, that's right. Self-defense is a science. We're not, martial arts and self-defense are totally different.
That's what I was saying. That's why I said self-defense. I said martial arts. So I was like, well, I guess I don't got to make that distinction.
We talk about, martial science. And, well, you know what? I'll save that because we're going to have an episode. We're going to have it last year, but sickness of some of the guests precluded that. Where it's an episode called Martial Arts, Martial Mathematics, Martial Science.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's best for you. And I'm going to have on there, on that panel that we're talking to, we're not part of the panel, we're going to be talking to them, questioning them, we're moderating it, a martial artist, an artist who's a martial artist too, who's been on here before, a martial mathematician who's been on here before, and a martial scientist they're in their field. So the artist is an artist, visual artist. The martial mathematician is a mathematician. The martial scientist we're going to have on here is a scientist. He's a chemist, but he's also a martial artist. We're going to have him on here, and they're going to speak on the differences.
That's what's up.
Are there differences?
There are.
What are the similarities, and do they? Which ones should you do? Okay. So we'll deal with that.
I'm with you.
And just so you know, when people say, "Well," and it's deeper than saying, "Well, artists would show sciences for actuality." Well, we know that's not true because art can be used in actualization. It's actualized shit. When I'm assuming draws a mural, that's not just for show. There's meaning in it. There's inspiration in other art. If I put up a picture of the golf what's his name? Just hit me. I just lost me. The mask from V for Vendetta. Guy Fawkes.
Yes.
The Guy Fawkes mask is going to cause a certain reaction.
Yeah. You draw the back.
It did back during the time when it was used for revolution.
If you drew what they call the Baphomet, it's going to bring out certain things in you.
Symbols affect us. So art affects us more than just something we see.
Right.
Also, we see it becomes real when we see it exists if it moves. And good art causes the illusion of motion because of that reason. Now, science, there's also science that is theoretical. Theoretical science isn't actualized, it's theory. Okay? So there's no evidence behind it at all. Now you say, well, what is religion? Is religion an art, a science, or mathematics? It can be all three.
Depending on what religion it is.
It can be none of them, depending on religion. If we talk about the African traditions, because I'm not part of any religion. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. We talk about Ifa. People will say Ifa is a science. Some, and I know some people like there's a author and an artist. Roland Abiodun is a artist. Is a artist of Ifa. I ain't talking about just drawing. I'm talking about he approaches it through art. The way he does it, it's an art. But then there are people. For them, it's a science. For Baba Pashola, who you all know, it's an art. The way I approach it, it's a science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boom.
The way in martial arts, that's all I'll say on that. I call it martial arts. I do not call it martial science. When we have them on here, we'll deal why, but that doesn't mean there isn't martial science. Because there is, because we're going to have them on here and dealing with that, right? So we'll deal with all of that.
Copy that.
Now, the kukri is a way more deadly than the kopesh. They both use blade weight to increase damage, but a heavy kukri does it right. I don't know what an African kukri is, unless it's a kukri in the hand of an African. But a kopesh is a great tool. You know how to use it. It does it right too. However, the difference is kopesh traditionally is made from copper.
So it can bend.
The kukri is steel, yes. Now, if it was made from bronze, bronze is as hard as steel, but it does not sharpen as well. And if it's stainless steel, does not rust, but bronze can. But there are still bronze statues around today, just as they're as good a shape as they were. They just have to be, cleaned up. Because when you see them all green, you just have to clean that off. They're tarnished.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, because that kopesh can hack like an axe, stab, slash like a blade and hook, shoulder, limb, weapon. Yes. I read about an African variant of the kukri that has a heavier mass on the back of the blade to increase chopping power, like an axe, kind of. It was damn interesting. I'd have to know the name of it. They have newfangled steel kopeshes. Yes, they do. And like you said, that's newfangled steel. A lot of people like the kopesh because it looks good, but it was used in war. It's effective. Okay. There are several, and maybe we'll do an episode on actually African tools. African tools. Okay. Show you all when we have the producer, so you can bring in the African, shots of the different African tools that we bring with. I don't have all those from across. I mean, we're talking about tools from across the continent that I am familiar with. I have put my hands on. I've trained with several from West Africa, but I don't know all that stuff. If y'all want to get me with them, I'll give you a list. So, and I know some people who make some of the, but in wood, to make them in copper and stuff like that, I don't know nobody. They probably be so expensive, but we will keep looking, and if you know somebody, add them into the chat. But thank you all.
Yes.
If you have any other questions about zombies, let us know. And if you see, like I said, some zombies, if you've seen some, send pictures or video in the chat. If you just say you saw a zombie walking down the street, I'm sure that probably was a drunk dude, probably a winehead.
Yeah, you ain't got no
picture. Probably wasn't an actual shambling zombie. If you
wasn't like Robert.
Yeah, it wasn't there. Yeah. If he was in that condition, all you gotta do is put shea butter on that.
Oh yeah, shea butter kill
clean all that, clear that shit up. He'll be looking like this regular old dude.
You need like some spray. You need like a shea butter spray or something.
Shea butter mist.
Yeah.
Shea butter mist.
Or he has a dedicated partner that just spread it all over. And then you got after that, you got to take him to a barber. They got to hook that hairstyle up or cut that shit off so he rock the ball. And other than that,
after that, you might want to see Dennis.
Oh, you got to see it.
No, he got to do something about the tip of that nose.
Well, no, he just started singing.
He can wear the gold tip like dude from
he can be a Michael Jackson impersonator. Let me But yeah, so they have fake noses that went on people like that.
What's the show with Alfred?
I can't.
No, that's the other show with Alfred. The Batman show.
The who?
The Batman show with Alfred. Somebody know. Come on, family.
Malcolm?
No.
Oh, the one with Pennyworth.
Pennyworth, yeah, the gold tip to the nose.
I didn't know nobody had a gold tip on there.
Yeah, a guy had his nose was chopped off. He had a gold tip put on the front of his nose.
Well, they could put that like on Boardwalk Empire, that half face, like on.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't try too hard to think of these folks' movies. If I can't think of it right away, I don't try to do hard. I don't want to give them too much.
Let me see. It says, "Let Pele's friend there talk finally."
What happened? Didn't see that.
Tua, many thanks to my warrior instructors. Oh, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Never watched Pennyworth. I think I saw an episode. It looks pretty good. I just never figured out the time when it was playing.
It was pretty good. It started getting kind of sucky after a while. It started getting kind of dry after a while.
Now, I've been debating, and y'all can let me know, should I go with, so when I'm going to get implants, should I get them all gold, platinum, or just that regular old, tooth-looking foolishness?
Definitely gold.
Yellow gold.
Gold.
Yellow gold.
Perfect.
I'm still trying to get that.
Top and bottom. So
Yes.
You can get like random diamonds.
In the
yeah, true.
That is great. Thank you. That's
kind of tacky though. That's kind of tacky.
That's what I'm here for, Baba.
That's kind of tacky though, Baba. Baba getting older. He don't need the diamonds in there, Baba. That's too much.
That's why I said, just a few, not like the whole.
That's classic. That is classic. That's classic.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I'm gonna grow my thumbnail long and get a diamond in that.
There you go.
That's saucy.
All right, y'all. Oh, snap! Platinum jewel encrusted teeth. Now that is dope. Good idea. That's a good one. Now, if I come rocking that, don't talk no jive, because y'all.
Listen, y'all, I'm from the South. So I just want y'all to know, if I come into some quick influx of money, I will have an all gold front. Y'all may never see it, but I will have it. Listen to me. I will have it.
If I ever got gold, I'm gonna get the vampire fangs. I might as well.
I want the RZA. I call that the RZA. I want the RZA.
Get it. I wanted to do that anyway with regular teeth, but my wife said no. I want to just rock. And I wasn't going to say nothing. I was just going to talk. And then y'all be like, oh, I got fangs.
Oh, shit. What was that?
Jadorian said, keep it plain and simple. Yeah, but if I had it plain, I'd have to get the fangs in.
There you go.
Got to add a little class and pizzazz.
Right, yeah.
Look, now, when we come back next week now, all the toolless people, we need y'all to have your tools. Go to Walmart, go to wherever I never plug Walmart. I can't stand it. But you can get a decent Kershaw. I've seen another brand they have too.
In the white neighborhood.
The CRKT, hold on.
They'll have some decent knives in the black neighborhood, but they won't have the best ones. You're gonna have to travel to Fayetteville.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. That's my daughter. I bought that for my daughter.
$20 here.
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
A $60 knife. That's a $60 knife most places, $50, something like that. What Walmart gets those companies to do is make a version just for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you get a cheaper price with a good brand. That's what I was talking about. That's the other brand. You got the Kershaw
16,
and then you got the Cert. Is that what it's called? Cert.
It's a
how does Walmart get them to make that same version for them when they know somebody can buy it for its regular price somewhere else because Walmart is so big?
Because they're gonna sell more.
They strong arm them.
Bigger numbers.
Yeah.
Walmart's so nasty. They basically have all the vendors in the room, and they basically put a broom out and be like, who give us this for the cheapest? And everybody just bid and come up with a version that they can get. All right, well, we're going to go with them.
I got it.
Just imagine if they tell you, okay, well, we won't carry any of your products at our stores that are all over the place if you don't make a version that's just for us that costs this particular price.
Well, it's like when me and two friends of mine made a bean pie company in Chicago. And we had got the J&J fish contract. That ended because I wouldn't sleep with the person from J&J who had worked the stuff for me, just so you know.
You shouldn't have slept with him, Baba.
No, not him.
Okay, my fault.
First of all, and I did not do it.
I'll say, don't sleep with JJ.
And I did not do it. But one of my partners talked to McDonald's. Yes, talked to McDonald's back then. They said, we can do it. We'll pay you a nickel for each bean pie. Right? Now you say a nickel, damn. But they talked about putting it in all the McDonald's in the United States. The reason why we could not do that,
you couldn't fulfill
their first order was going to be 500,000. We couldn't produce 500,000 slices of bean pie.
Right.
And so that's when we were like, well, we wouldn't possibly be able to do it. We were already, one of the brothers we brought in was making the bean pies for the nation. So the Nation of Islam was gracious enough to let us use their ovens after hours.
Right.
They wasn't going, well, can we use them 24/7? They were like, hell no.
Mm-hmm.
Even we gave them a cut. They were like, hell no. Because I mean, they didn't have enough to fulfill that capacity themselves.
Right.
What an excellent.
So we had to just let it go. But imagine a nickel. So some people will think that is too cheap. But when you're talking about all the McDonald's in the United States, and if it worked, they'd put it in the McDonald's around the world.
Yeah.
There was no way we could. So after that meeting, I said in the meeting, that's not going to happen. I knew that was over. I wasn't going to keep BSing them and holding on. That's not going to happen. And that was it.
Bile's salad dressing and soups coming soon.
Bile's salad dressing and soups and will not be in McDonald's.
They will never be in McDonald's.
Right. But I know much more than I knew then. But
let's McDonald's change now. Let me take that back. They may be in. I ain't gonna rule McDonald's out. Get this dressing. Why not give McDonald's healthy salad dressing if they want? I'm sorry, McDonald's, if you're listening.
Because after if you're listening to McDonald's, but we'll talk offline.
I'll never sell out.
So support Bile when that time comes. If you want some healthy dressing. And coming soon is a music video from Ice Cold Carter.
Oh my goodness! A
music video from Ice Cold Carter.
Wait to see it. I can't.
And then the movie should be coming soon as well. Well, that's a little bit further in the future, but
this is we executing, y'all. That's what it's all about.
It's the year execution.
Everybody, this is what we want y'all to be doing. We want you to be on it. Execute it. Those old plans, the stuff you forgot about. Get up, go clean out the closet. Whatever you're supposed to do it. Get it done.
Not the year of resolution. The year of execution.
Man. Execution, baby.
All right. So this is a good one. Love y'all.
Always.
Stay black or whatever it is you may be. Peace. And when you're saying peace, put up your right hand.
Don't be like me years ago. With my organization I started with all the kids with the wrong hand up. The kids got the right hand, I got the wrong hand. People think I'm an agent. Yeah, Baba hit me. I didn't know.
Yeah, so because that drives me nuts. Make sure you put up the left. Shit, at the family reunion, I did it.
You put the
Me and the family reunion, my brother-in-law. So we all throwing up. It wasn't my idea. He said, let's throw up the Black Power fist for solidarity with our people. This is another cousin, right? Who you don't think about having any politics, but politics, but not on the right side of the barricade. They threw up their fists. So we all got our right. I look at my brother-in-law. I
seen that in that picture. Baba looked like this.
I'm like, why he got up? And it was a professional photographer. They didn't take the picture. Why you got up your left?
Said, I never post those pictures of me with the kids. It's the best pictures. I really be wanting to post them pictures with the kids. I can't do it. I was like, I can't show myself like that.
Well, what you do, just use a Photoshop. The AI now is
you get in your phone and switch sides.
It's gonna have 15 fingers. You have that up there, and then they just take that from you. They switch sides to it. Actually, it'll be backwards like this, 15 fingers. But hey,
I don't know what that means. I don't like this side. Whatever that is, I don't like it. Whatever that is, I don't like it.
That doesn't look very saucy. Like
no, if you get on your knees and do it, look like you about to start flying or something.
No, if you get on your knees, it looks like what you accuse MLK of doing.
On that note,
statue.
All right, stay black. Whatever it is, be peace. See y'all next week.
Lord.